Alright, so we're going to do a battle report for a 1500 point game. The game mission is Emperor's Will with 2 objectives. There's an objective here in this building for the Sisters of Battle, and there's an objective back here in this building for the Tyranids. The armies are going to be Tyranids versus Sisters of Battle. The Sisters have an allied guard. On the Sisters side, there are 2 exorcists. We're doing the hammer and anvil setup. There are 2 units of Battle Sisters. One of them is in reserve. They both have meltas and multi-meltas. There's a unit of Guard Veteran here. They have the las cannon, 2 plasma guns, and there's a Rhino. There are 4 Repentia with their superior, 3 Penitent engines in a squad, Saint Celestine and a Primaris Psyker, and he has the Telepathy, Psychic Shriek, and Puppet Master. And then in reserve, there's a Sentinel. We're using a Dust Mini for that. A Dominion squad with Immolator with multi-meltas, and a squad of Battle Sisters. What we got for the Tyranids?
We have a Flying Hive Tyrant with a Lash Whip and a Bone Sword, 2 Termagants, 4 Hive Guard, 2 groups of Termagants, and then over here we've got 2 Trygons and the Doom of Malantai in reserve.
And he's got a drop pod for the Doom of Malantai, so there's a spore lurking somewhere. In round 1, the Sisters actually stole the initiative, so they have round 1. It's not night fighting, and we're gonna do movement. Right, so we've finished the Sisters movement phase. Repentia got in this vehicle, and it moved 12 inches up. These Pent engines are running forward. Saint Celestine lands over here. The Primaris Psyker runs up behind a door. These guard, some of them move forward, but the las cannon does not. These 2 exorcists slide forward and a little sideways, and that is it for Sisters movement and the running. So we're going to start some shooting. End of Sisters shooting and assault phase. Pretty much everyone unloaded into the Hive Tyrant. The rattling snipers here hit him once on a snapfire, grounded him. He took a wound from the ground, didn't take a wound from the snapfire, and then the las cannon put a wound on him, and an exorcist shot at him 6 times, wounding him enough to kill him. The only other damage done is this exorcist put 1 wound on a Hive Guard. They're fearless because of Synapse, so it's Tyranids round 1. Tyranid round 1 movement phase. These 2 spawn. Was it this guy that is done? Alright, this one's will be politically correct here. It can no longer spawn. It's run out of babies. Larvae. This one's still good to spawn again. Everyone else either moved back into cover, slid forward, and we're now at the end of Tyranid movement 1. We're going to see what happens. Tyranid turn 1 is over. The Rhino got immobilized by these Hive Guard. These Hive Guard absolutely blew up a Penitence engine. The other guys came running in. For just hideous bad luck, they ended up rolling lots of 1s on their run, so they didn't run very far. But we're done with Tyranids round 1. Moving into Sisters round 2, we're going to roll for reserves. At the beginning of Sisters round 2, they have 5 faith points. The girls who are in reserve are coming in, and the Sentinel is coming in, but the Dominion squad is not. At the beginning of movement, the outflank comes in here, right next to these Hive Guard, and the girls come walking in from the back. Sisters movement phase is over. Saint Celestine flies into terrain, does not roll a 1, so she's okay. The Repentia come running out of their Rhino. These rattlings, 2 of them move, 1 of them stays where he is. The Penitent engines move up, the Primaris moves up, the 2 exorcists move forward, the guard squad moves forward, and we're done with movements. So we're going to get into Saint Celestine at the end of shooting, flames a bunch of Termagant. These 2 Penitent engines wipe out the entire squad. The Primaris Psyker fails his psychic test because of the 3d6. This exorcist shoots Hive Guard, puts a wound on it, but it's a different Hive Guard due to which one's closer. This exorcist shoots that Trygon, puts 1 wound on it. Rhino does nothing. These girls get out. They throw a grenade, does nothing. These guard, 1 of them kills themselves with the plasma. Seems to happen a lot for me. The las cannon put a wound. Even though it snap fired, it did hit, put a wound on that. The Rattlings did nothing. The Sentinel does nothing. And that's the end of Sister shooting, so we're going to go into the end of the assault phase. The only assault that could happen is St. Celestine. She rolls, well, she gets snap-fired. She doesn't get wounded. And then she rolls a double 1 for her charge distance, so nothing happens at all. So the initial part of the movement phase for the Tyranids, the 2 Trygons, not primes, come popping in here and here. The Mycetic Spore drops with the Doom of Malantai stepping out, and this Termagant starts spawning another 13 guys, which is exactly the same as the 13 guys that just died. So Tyranids are doing pretty good. At the start of the shooting phase, these sisters roll a 7 on their leadership versus the Doom, so they are okay. And we're going to start seeing what actual shooting happens. With the end of Tyranid shooting, St. Celestine has taken a wound. A Penitent Engine has lost 2 hull points. The Doom has managed to kill 3 girls in the building, but took 1 wound himself. These Repentia got mauled by a big explosion, but they felt no pain, did okay. And the Sentinel was killed. The Primaris Psyker was killed. So the sisters are starting to take some pretty heavy losses here. The assaults are over for Tyranid assault. St. Celestine kills 2 of these guys, but she took a wound. And that Trygon, the giant monster, comes rolling in here, kills the mistress of Repentia and 1 girl with an eviscerator. Otherwise, it took a wound. And no one else is in an assault. End of Sisters movement phase. These girls disembark. They're Dominions. They're in the building. That's a Immolator with multi-multas. These Penitent Engines move up. Exorcist kind of slides back and turns some. These girls move away from the Doom. These girls move up. This Exorcist moves and turns. These guys move over here. They're locked in combat. The Rattlings don't move because they can see him. And we're going to move on to shooting. At the end of Sisters shooting phase, we put 1 wound on this Termagant. The Penitent Engines put a wound on a Hive Guard. This Trygon took 3 wounds from Bolter Fire, which is remarkable. The Doom just took a crazy number of hits. Absolutely, like 5 or 6 strength 8 hits, and he saved all of them. And I don't think anything else was wounded in the rest of it. So we're going to move into... oh, sorry. These Dominions also killed a whole bunch of Termagants. Here, 1 wound is put on the Termagant, and 1 girl goes down. Celestine kills the Termagants. The Penitent Engines kill the Hive Guard, and there are no other assaults going on, so we're on to Tyranids 3. End of Tyranid movement. These guys get spawned. They're moving towards the Dominion squad. These guys split off towards the objective. This guy moves out of terrain right behind the Penitent Engines. These guys are coming up on St. Celestine. I call them guys, but they're bugs. The Doom moves out so he can hit multiple people with his hideous life leech. And that's it. Right, so we're going to cover for the Tyranid shooting. 1 Penitent Engine is killed by the Hive Guard. St. Celestine is shot down and killed. This guy shoots the Exorcist, nothing happens. The Doom just starts slaughtering people, kills a bunch of guard, well, 2 of them, kills 3 sisters. He's now probably maxed on his wounds. And was there any other shooting? No. This Trygon does not make his assault charge into the Exorcist. And other assaults. He's going to assault him. Okay. End of combat. The Penitent Engine is absolutely destroyed, but when it blows up, it kills a whole bunch of Termagants. And then 1 Repentia dies, but the other one puts a wound on that Trygon, whatever it's called. Trygon. Sisters round 4, 1 faith point. St. Celestine Sisters movement. The guard falls back. Exorcists move up here. Sisters slide sideways, staying out of range of that drop pod. St. Celestine is dead. These guys kind of scatter out in the ruins, and the Rattlings don't move. We killed the Doom. We killed the Trygon. This Trygon here took another wound from the multi-meltas. A whole bunch of these guys got shot down, but they're fearless. Rattlings do nothing. The guard ran, so it didn't really do much. These girls kind of slide along. Exorcists shot a bunch. And then in the assault, the Repentia and the Termagant kill each other, and then we got to make checks for these guys to see if they die. Swarm dies because the big brood thing dies. So at the beginning of the movement phase, the Termagants fail their synapse. They're moving into terrain and lurking. This guy's going to make his... No, he's good for synapse. So everyone else is still in synapse. By round 4, it finally happens. He spawns 13 more guys, but he's done their run out of larvae. During his movement, these guys slide back here. These spawned ones come running forward. He's moving back this way, and those guys are still lurking, and then we're into shooting. End of Tyranids, round 4. These guys come running forward, but he accidentally cluster spines and blows up 4 of his own guys. Some snap shooting, but actually no sisters die, and we're at the top of sisters round 5. The sisters have how many faith points? They have 4, and St. Celestine is still not coming back. They come down, exorcists slide over. St. Celestine's dead, they kind of move around, that immolator moves a bit, and the guards slightly fall to the side, and we're going to see what happens. Sisters shooting and assault. This is where we're standing. The Trygon took 1 more wound. Trygon is killed, and nothing else is happening. Round 6, sisters have 2 faith points. Does St. Celestine get back up? She does, and is it night fighting?
When she comes up, I can't kill. I can't tie it anymore.
All right, the game ends right here at the top of round 6. The sisters win. They have Warlord, First Blood, Linebreaker, and an objective. The Tyranids have an objective, and they're going to get Linebreaker, and they're not going to get Warlord.